Okay. Kayla got the 111, the 111. Sipping lemonade, throwing light shade. Okay.
It's Kayla Got the 411. I'm here for another special Whopping Wednesday. I'm so excited to have this queen here with me, Shronda. Shronda, we met on Clubhouse through another mutual podcaster that we followed each other. And I swear, Grace, like when I see your post, I was like, oh, she gets me. And I don't find a lot of people that gets me. So we've been trying to like do something, but we finally got something going. This episode is called Fix Your Crown. So how are you doing, Queen? Tell us about your brand and everything, and how you doing today?
I'm doing good, sis. I'm so happy that we finally hooked up. We've been trying, so we've been trying. So I'm doing good. Like you said, my name's Shronda. I'm the creator of Geaux Queen, Privilege Prize Package. I've been doing this for about 2 years. I also host the Qchat podcast, and my platform really is for women, and I always put self-love, but with self-love, I also try to be transparent. It's not like I told somebody I don't fart glitter, just because I have a positivity platform. Selling fake dreams, I try to be transparent and real. So that's, if I had to sum up everything in a nutshell, that's how I would sum it up.
Yes, and you have an amazing platform. I'm talking about your page, your Instagram, everything is just amazing. It just flow. I'm always attracted to like women who bring. I'm like impressed. Like she really has it going on, and I like the fact that you talked about that too. Like you do promote self-love, but I think a lot of people got this really twisted. Like, okay, you don't have to be like, oh, peace and stuff like that. You can preach self-love in a real life type of way. And I think that you do very, very well with that. So how did you even get the whole name, the concept of your brand?
That's a good question. So one day, this was like 2 years ago, like March of 2019, it was like a situation where a guy was trying to like get with me or whatever, and he was like real rude about it. And I was like, wait, hold up a second. Like, who are you talking to? It was like one of those check moments. So I had this little Facebook post. Okay, I was like, hey, ladies, single ladies, I just want to let y'all know you're the privilege, you're the prize, you're the package. And it was like a cartoon moment, light bulb. I was like, girl, put that on a shirt. At the time, I was working in an office. I wasn't even like really wearing t-shirts like talking about. I was like, put it on a shirt. And it really took off. And I was like, well, you know what? I want people to know the reason why, because I'm like, if I'm just selling t-shirts saying Geaux Queen, you're not going to really know by getting the shirt why I came to that. So if I had to like really get deep with it, I've been through a lot. I've been through domestic violence. I've been through assault. I've been through toxicity in my own family and depression, anxiety. It's not like I came to being this Geaux Queen overnight. We're talking, I've been through some ish. I've been hurt. I've been abused. I've gone through financial issues. One time I was struggling so bad because I was in a terrible custody situation. A sis couldn't even afford Netflix. That's how much I was at the bottom. But
oh, girl, I don't been there. Thank God I used to bootleg movies off LimeWire. Go to the library and Starbucks and download what I needed to get so I could, keep me float, girl. We done been there, but people see your brand and see, oh, Queen. You don't know what it took that queen to go through to get there, okay? So I like the fact that you telling, like, it's kind of like the princess in the fairy tales. Like, you see what she goes through, but she has to go through something before she gets her happy ending.
Right, and it's important, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, how many life coaches and stuff do we have nowadays? Girl, a billion. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't tell people how you got to a particular level, you're really wasting your time. So that's why I try to be extremely transparent. If you go to my website, like me and you talked before recording, if you go to my website now and read the blogs, it's extremely transparent. I talk about something. I don't just sit there and say, oh, you know what? Geaux Queen is about, I'm all fully empowered and I'm all confident. I felt like this since the day I was born. No, I haven't. You know, I just
Girl.
turned 44 years old. A lot of people, when I tell them my age, when I tell people my age, they are shocked. But here's the thing. But that's the thing. I don't carry what I've been through. If you looked at pictures from me 10 years ago, I don't look the same. You could tell I was going through something. And it's just, I really try to use what I've been through as a physical living testimony, because if I could get to this stage, anybody can. You know, I didn't always have that joy or confidence or self-esteem. That's why I, in every show, telling people, make sure you go love yourself. If you don't, you just opening the door for all types of problems in your life. People talk about self-love a lot, and that's another platform that people are using to death, but they don't talk about where you can be at if you don't have it. I tell people where I was at when I didn't have that self-love. It was in a terrible relationship that I had no business even being in, and I kept going back to it like a spinning wheel because I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I possessed. I didn't know I could do better. I really didn't know. And I try to have that transparency as opposed to embarrassment, you know, and that's, to me, is part of just being real. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, you just talking at people. And that's
Being
not
vulnerable, being open, you know, it's okay to say, you know, I done been through something. You know, I done been cheated on. I done been, because there's so many other women. Sadly, there's probably more women that probably can relate to the pain than can relate to the happy moments. And they just want to encourage me like, wow, look at that sister. Like, she went through the same thing I'm going through. So look at her now. I can get through it. And speaking of your page, I did go to your bio because I wanted to read about you before I came on here. And you talked about your childhood, feeling like, because you're a very outspoken woman from your show, right?
Yeah.
I am too. But girl, when I was a child, maybe you can relate to this too. People thought something was wrong with me because I never spoke. Like I didn't talk. I wasn't around peers or family that made me feel like my opinion was like worthy. Two, when I did talk, you know, try to be myself in school, they used to be like, oh, she thinks she all that. So when I shut up, y'all think I'm all that. When I do talk, y'all think I'm all that. Like, which one? So I really kind of shelved myself, and I ain't really started drawing into who I was, but to like high school, honestly. So I was like, you know what? I like me. I'm a little quirky. I'm a little weird. So I know, was your childhood like that too? Because
it was. I was the youngest, and not only was I the youngest, there was like an age gap between me and my other siblings. So I was also the youngest, but it kind of also felt like I was the only child in a way. And I just didn't have confidence. You know, I was this little girl who didn't exactly get told, hey, you're okay, you're worth something. And it is true when they say you got to really instill that to children early on. You know, through bullying, you know, and it's funny because now people, oh, you know, you're so beautiful. As a child, no, I was an ugly duckling. And the sad part is I had a family who like let me know I was an ugly duckling. How does that make anybody feel comfortable?
Girl, family be the root of a lot of problems.
And exactly, and that's another thing I talk about on my show, therapy, because you got to get past some other stuff. But you know, as a child, I didn't feel comfortable. I was a little nerd. I made good grades, but I just wasn't. I never felt like I fit in any situation. As I got older, it was the same thing, and it wasn't until recently. That's why I always tell people, when you hit like your 40s, it's a different ball game because you really start thinking about life differently. Because let's face it, people going quick now. You know what I'm saying? People going in their 50s. Once you hit 40, you really start thinking, well, you know what? I've essentially possibly lived half of my lifespan and possibly more. And you really start thinking about things really differently. And it really wasn't until I hit 40 where I really started to own my qualities in a good way, as opposed to, oh wow, you know, I don't really fit in, you know, what's the problem? Now it's like, yeah, you know, I'm good with that. You know, I'm unique, you know, I love it.
I feel the same way. I never felt like I fit in, but I think like even in like high school, I had friends, but like, okay, just because all y'all want to eat lunch at this table, maybe I want to eat by myself today. And they all be looking like, what's wrong with you? Like, oh, we going to the mall today. Okay, I don't want to go to the mall today. A movie come, I always did what I wanted to do. And I'm 29. I didn't realize that it's okay to do what you want to do. Like, you don't have to like follow what everybody else is doing. I mean, I've been peer pressured so much, and I always been that, oh no, I'm not doing that. No, I don't think that's safe. No, I don't want to smoke. I had no problem saying no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I know what I saw in you when I met you, the way you talk and stuff like that, is that you just come off as a very alpha woman, like a leader. You don't follow what everybody else is doing. Like you set the tone where people look at you like, wow, they're inspired. And that's what I saw in you when I met you on Clubhouse. This is the way you spoke and how you build your platform. But it takes, you just don't, like you said, don't come like that overnight.
Hey y'all, let me give you the 411 on Meraki Cologne. Meraki Cologne has cosmetics, waist beads, custom bracelets, and apparel. So many great items for you to choose from. And my favorite is the vegan-based lip gloss. Use code Kayla411 to get 10% off right now.
No, takes growth. It really does take growth, especially when you don't fit in. You're like, okay, well, I'm nice. Why don't everybody? But when you're a strong woman, like people be intimidated by that. We're gonna get into some things today.
They do. And you made a good point too. When you start to own those qualities, like you described me as a leader, I wasn't always that person. Like I had the qualities in me as a child because I always was set apart. And I would have some teachers that would recognize that and they would try to push me out there because they saw something that I didn't own, but unfortunately for me, it took decades for me to own it. So now since I own certain things about myself, it's like you and I, we were in a Clubhouse, we connected. It's like when you own yourself, it's like, okay, the people that's going to gravitate towards your energy and your uniqueness, they're going to come without you having to do extra. And the people that is not going to receive it, they're going to go away. And it's like, bye, you can go over there. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Well, they're going to automatically gravitate towards you. And that's what happens when you start to own yourself. You're not necessarily as isolated because like the right people receive it, and you build your own audience, your own tribe. You come across people like, how many people I've met in this journey that have the same story that they felt different. But now it's like we all coming together and we're growing too. You know what I'm saying? You have your platform where you're reaching people. I created my platform where I'm reaching people. But if we didn't own those qualities, we wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's a lesson in the uniqueness. But we wouldn't have been talking to one another on our platforms unless we got to a stage that we own that uniqueness and just didn't really worry about who's gonna rock with it or not. You know what I'm saying?
And even feeling comfortable getting on platforms like two women, Black women with their own platforms, right? Different ages, but still like being able to relate and say, girl, I like what you got going on. And being to have this type of dialogue where we can do like a empowerment show, fix her crown. Like that's dope. But I think it takes kind of just being confident in who you are, knowing that you can get on a platform and talk to another fly, amazing, beautiful woman, and she doesn't take away your shine. Like, that's another thing we need to understand. Like, another amazing woman, it's not going to take away your shine unless you allow it to. You let it get in your head. You get what I'm saying? Have you experienced anything like that? Like, kind of just relating or just getting to know other women? Like, they kind of standoffish?
I do all the time, actually, because just like you said, I really view my life as an open book. 9 times out of 10, if we have a conversation in about 10, 20 minutes, you probably know, I've probably at least told you 1 or 2 major things that I've been through. Cause like, I don't really have any boundaries when I talk about my life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it is what it is. But on the flip side, like you said, I really don't mesh well with people that have any kind of insecurities, because what I talk about gets misinterpreted. If you don't have that confidence, they may be like, oh, well, here we go with who she thinks she all that. That's not the case,
That's my middle name. She thinks she all that.
And that's the first thing an insecure person's going to go by, or someone who may be intimidated by where you're at, or someone who in their mind, they're secretly competing for what, So that's the first thing, who she thinks she is. Don't get me wrong. I go through stuff posting, because obviously that's part of the brand. I'm posting, I'm talking about things I went through, I'm talking about things in the podcast, I'm talking about stuff on IG, I'm taking pictures. It can be misinterpreted sometimes, but I just really had to get that out of my mind, because I'm like, I really waste time on, oh, well, if I post this or if I say this one may get offended, or she may think and I'm all that. Girl, I can't, I'm not chasing that bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really can't focus on that. And I had to really come to terms with part of progression and really part of getting to that level. Not everybody can go. That's just a harsh reality.
Everybody go.
No, not everybody's going to like you. You may be cute to 10 people. They're going to be 20 that's like, There are going to be 20 people that may like what you're saying. There's going to be 5 that's going to be like, I don't want to hear what she got to say. And guess what? That's fine, because you're not part of my audience anyway, but I definitely, and that's like I was telling you before we started recording, I went through things where I'm like, maybe I should take Queen out of my brand, because I think people get the whole notion of Queen misconstrued. And a lot of people throw around the term Queen a lot. Me personally, I use Queen because I truly feel that as Black women, look at us, we beautiful, look at our melanin, look at our hair, we can do whatever we want to. We're descendants from royalty. That's why I use the term Queen. So some people get that mixed up. They think people just throwing it around. They don't like the term. And not everybody, but some people. And they also could be using the term Queen. That means you're just gonna tolerate nonsense off of everybody. That ain't part of the platform. Like, you still can't play with me. I'm still from New Orleans. I'm still 504. You're not gonna play with me. And
it's like, you should speak highly of yourself. So I know, look here. I feel like this. I tell people this all the time. I done did all this work on myself, especially always growing up, a little, having some meat on me. Look here, I did a lot of work to get to where I'm at. You ain't, honey, I'm about to show. I'm about to take these pictures and show it off. And if you're gonna be mad, unfortunately, you're gonna have to just be upset, baby, because I can't lower my standards or make myself feel bad about myself to make you feel good about yourself. And I feel like if we all are women, if you see another woman doing something, or she's looking good, or she got something amazing, like Queen, you did that. And that goes to my topic, the topic of
my face is gonna be heat all the time. But that's me. I also have a cosmetology background, so I'm supposed to change my skills and so to make somebody else feel better like that. That's insane. Just like people who are highly intelligent, why should they dumb themselves down for somebody? So it all goes hand in hand. And I just really had to get to the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna water myself down for anybody. If you don't have to like me. I'm 100% fine with that. I sleep very well at night. Okay.
But you gonna respect me. Let's add you gonna respect me. I'm very big on that. You ain't gotta like me and stuff like that, but write it in a journal. You get your out that way. Do you believe in the whole Black girl magic thing? I believe in Black girl magic, but I think that sometimes people have it construed. Black girl magic isn't okay. Me and my crew over here, like, we Black girl magic, but you and Shronda, y'all ain't Black girl magic. Like, that ain't how it work, y'all.
Right. I do believe, I get what you're saying. Like, that Black girl magic is true. Like, meaning sisters, we really are developing our own. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an amazing thing. They have so many Kaylas and Shrondas that's doing their thing, doing these platforms, and it's a great thing. But like you said, it gets mixed up, where it's like people think because you're putting yourself out there that you're trying to do some type of perfect fake thing. That don't mean like I'm gonna like you or you're gonna like me, or that doesn't mean like I'm trying to be friends with everybody that necessarily tries to engage with me. That's just, I don't like anybody, and I'm not going to apologize for it, and I'm not even putting myself out there saying that. And with me, I talk about self-love. I'm telling you to go love yourself. I'm not saying I'm obligated to love you. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's some of the things that's been kind of weird, because I am very accessible. I really am a DM away, and I really will talk to anybody. But I think but sometimes, I'm sure you have been burned sometimes. Sometimes it's like, I kind of can't rock with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you have to have boundaries. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think I'm going through that transformation stage in my life where you probably went through this, where you like things start changing, people start leaving your life and it hurts, but you don't know why. But you have to learn that it's part of your growth. So I know I've had people that I know like talked about me in group chats and they like slide in my DM, but like, hey girl, what type of video software you do? You know, I go ahead and get in the video software, but you know, it's like in the back of my mind, like I know. Like I know, but it doesn't do anything for me to be like, hey girl, I'm not giving you anything because you said anything. I don't move like that, you know. Even though I know how you feel about me, it's not even about me. It's something about you. It's something that you're not feeling too good about yourself and you're reflecting off of me. Because look how you know that you may not feel some kind of way about me, but you be like, hey girl, how you do this? Hey girl, how you do this and stuff like that. So I have had situations, but I keep people like that, you know, this and stuff. I don't really mingle like that, girl. I work and I take care of my child and I got a real close, you know, to me it's more about quality over quantity, right?
Yes.
I'd rather have 5 people in my life that rock with me than having a whole 20, 40 people that I know don't care for me. They just around me to benefit from me, to gain from me, and just leave me hanging. So
so many times. I know there's people that have done said ish about me in their little fabulous group chats, but then they turn around and ask me, oh, how did you edit this? How did you farm this? Really, like, I know, you know, what you said, you know, like you I'm sure don't want to watch the Qchat or admit that you F with the Qchat, but you're going to ask me how I on it. That's the part that, like,
girl, I'm telling you, girl, I be telling people, like, the same people that say they don't like you, I know you know my thing, so I bet you know it by heart.
Like, I know you watching it because you've said something, you know, and you're competing, and it's like, I'm not even thinking about you like that. You know, it's very bizarre. And I've definitely had people try and befriend me, air quotes, and they'll ask me a lot of information and I'll tell them. And then it's like crickets. I don't hear from them again. You know, shout out a bunch of shows, but you didn't shout out mine. You know, you just asked me a ton of questions on how I, it's like, okay, now I really know not to really F with you anymore, you know, but I just look at it like I count everything on joy because you hurting yourself, not me. You're asking me how I do something. So I was something you don't, you know, so I just really keep it moving. And I'm just like you, I much rather small knitted people that's genuine than sit there and be fake and for a check and a heart for people on social media friends who, if you die tomorrow, they can't even find your obituary because they don't even know what your real name is. They know your IG handle. So some of us, we sticking and moving for the wrong thing, you know. So that's why I keep that grounded and that grounded mindset, and I just know not to take stuff too personal anymore because we live in a wicked world anyway. So people really will come to you. I mean, come on, I know there's people following your page and mine that don't like us. Girl, people follow a page of someone that they don't like and then faithfully looking at the post when you don't like them.
It's like, just let me go. Like, I'm the type of person where even if, girl, I don't know about you, but I feel if I get that vibe from you, I'll go ahead and let you go myself. You'll look one day and be like, oh, I don't follow Kayla no more because I let you go. I knew you ain't have the heart to unfollow me yourself, so I went on ahead and did it for you. See, look. And you know, the whole saying "fix her crown." I think that's a beautiful statement, but sometimes we need to fix our own crown when it's slipping because there are times where you can be jealous and envious of a person and not even realize that you are being that type of way. I know, I'll never forget one time this guy that I was talking to, right, girl, we wasn't exclusive, but I really liked him. But it found out he had a whole chick that he was with, and I really liked him. My feelings was really hurt. So like a year go by, I stumbled upon the Facebook, and they done got married. Now, I didn't realize at that moment that I was really being a hater because I was on the phone with my homegirl, and I was looking at the picture, and I tore that wedding down. I was like, look at him with that little cheap wedding. Look at him on the beach. Look at her with that dress is cheap. Girl, she looked beautiful. I was in my mind, like, I really had to check myself at that time, and I should have realized because my homegirl was quiet. And I was like, she was getting what I always wanted. I always wanted to get married. I always wanted my outdoor wedding. You know, I knew that he was a great guy and stuff like that. So like my jealousy came out, like, and I really had to check myself, like, oh, wait a minute. They look beautiful. Ain't nothing wrong with that girl. And sometimes many of you ladies out there, you have your moments like that. But I think the problem comes is when you go throughout life doing it and you don't realize you're doing it and you're hurting people and nobody has checked you or you haven't even checked yourself. And you know, people don't like that word jealous. Girl, I'm pretty sure you done heard this before. I ain't got to be in competition with nobody, okay? I don't see competition, okay? I want us all to win.
We live in, first of all, we live in this whole meme fantasy. You know, that's like, even though my whole platform is Geaux Queen, like I told you, I literally just wrote the other day, fixing each other's crown is a false statement, you know? And as far as people with this whole, well, I don't see so-and-so's competition. Yeah, you do, because you watching so-and-so real hard, and real passive aggressive because you see that other person winning and that other person ain't even thinking about you. Okay. It's like, if it's bothering you so bad, why don't, if it really hurts you so bad, I suggest people, hey, unfollow them people if it's really effing with you like that to the point where you just can't tolerate them looking nice or having these connections or growing, because they're not thinking about you. I promise you. A person that's growing. Here's a funny thing. I gotta change this secondly. Somebody I knew making posts like, oh, well, you know, because they had a little business going and they would always post these messages. I see who not supporting me. We see you. And I said to myself, if you're really grinding, you shouldn't have time to notice who ain't rocking with you like that. You know, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
Because we all know this, even with a lot of artists that I talk to on this show, is like, when you supporting and you grinding, like, people watching. They watch when you put out your first show. They watch when you first hit your milestone. And they're going to be watching you, and they ain't going to support until you really make that big break where, like, you're there. And then they're going to be like, hey, girl, I always knew you can do it. So if you don't get the support of your grind and success, you going through that journey, trust me, don't let it get to you, because they watching. They watching.
And that's why they're not going to unfollow, because when it really blow up, they could be like, oh, look, well, I know so-and-so. Nah, by then you'll probably get removed as a follower.
So many want to see me fall. When it rains, it pours, I be brainstorming. Know some people steady throwing shade. I could give a about a lane talking. Got an uncle and he's serving life. I could give a about some name calling. That's what come with it. Every bar, every song, know I come with it. I ain't making excuses, I'm done with it. When they give me the torch, I'ma run with it. Said I'm moving fast, yeah. Got my foot on the gas, yeah. Said I'm using talents and keeping my balance. I pray I don't crash, yeah.
Girl, I ain't got no problem. I ain't got no problem removing people. I'm saying, that's a few people probably hurt. Let me tell you what happened, girl. Last year, 2020 was that one of those years where I thought we all was gonna be positive and stuff. We all in the house. And I remember I said exactly this. I got on live, right? And you know, I'm very outspoken, which you can tell. And I got real upset, girl, because podcasters, they was following me, girl. They'll follow me, like me in my DM, like, oh, I love the show. 2 or 3 days, girl, guess what? They don't follow me. I got my follow, I don't subscribe. So I said, you know what? I ain't following no more of these new podcasters back. I'm only gonna rock with the people that I've been rocking with and the people that we have a built a relationship with. That's exactly how I said it. Girl, the next day, I get on my timeline. People don't need to put down other podcasters because those are the people that's, girl, I mean, literally. It was so obvious that they were talking about me. Yeah. I said, my God. Like the whole day, I'm like, y'all just missed it. Y'all just skipped the point out where I said, new podcasters, not current ones. So that morning, I had to let some people go. I said, the devil trying to take me there. I unfollowed them. So now you don't have to see my stuff. Now I freed you.
Right. Because you feel that negativity. I got to the point where I consider my podcast page making it private. because I know for a fact I have other podcasters on there that they talk a good game. I'm like, I know y'all don't like me because I feel it and I see the passive aggressive text. Same situation. One time I did a post about something that was taking place in New Orleans. Next thing I know, another podcaster, she posts something taken off what I said. And I was like, did she really think I was talking about her? I was like, I was talking about something in my hometown. And the old me would have inboxed her and said something, but I was just like, what's the point? Because I'm like, I stick and move in a different way. So I was not worth my energy to talk to somebody small who ain't where I'm at. Because I'm like, that's why you bothered, and that's why you like really analyzing all the posts, because it ain't even about you. I was just like, whatever. Like, I'll let her.
It's like you already feeling some kind of way about a person. Any little thing they do, you looking for something to give you a reason to justify the reason why you don't like them. And I remember, like, it got to the point where, like, I'm still growing as a person. I'm like, but what was the reason? Like, everybody, and then what got me, everybody in the comments, like, yeah, speak it, realness. I let everybody go that day. I was like, because it wasn't necessary, especially as Black women. We all have platforms. Like, why couldn't you DM me?
Right.
Like, why couldn't we talk about it? But you know, one thing I am learning, I'm pretty sure that you're learning, being a woman with your own brand. For one, it's already intimidating being the face of your brand. You know, that's a struggle right there in itself. But people will literally come for you just to attach themselves to your name. And a lot of people don't get that, because you don't get that because you are not a brand and you're not the face of your brand. So when you say things like, you know, people be like, oh, they're just talking crazy. No, there are people out here that will literally do anything for clout, just attach themselves to your name. And when you make it, guess what? Guess what's going to be attached to their name, going to be attached to your name. People want that. People crave that.
Right. And I'm glad you said that. That's why I don't really bother putting energy into people who I know like are jealous, but they still follow my page, because like you said, I'm building a brand that's different, you know what I'm saying? And that's not taken away from anybody else. But my podcast, for example, is different. It's attached to my business. I've earned money off my podcast, and some of these people that don't like me say the same. My podcast is attached to a business and is attached to a brand. This is my job, literally. I don't work for me. My business is me, and I have a family. So it's like, if you really think that I'm going to take the time to address some nonsense when I'm building something, it's like, come on. And then on the flip side, people, I guess, look at what I'm doing and it's like, wow, you know, she doing all this extra stuff. You know, she got this theme song, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because I'm fashioning my stuff. It's a brand. So it is, you know, like it's different. And yeah, that's why I have notable people and I work hard. I work my ass off. See, that's why it's just at the point where I really can't be offended by people, because I'm like, I'm just on a different level than they are. And that's, like I said, that's not taken away from them, but everything I'm doing is branded. It's tied to something. It's tied to a stream of income too. So, you know, it's no purpose in me.
I appreciate that. I'm actually to the point where now I did like a bonus episode pretty much saying that, you know, with me being a woman, I gotta, men are thirsty. Men are just as thirsty as women is, you know. And like I said, if any of you men think you're going to get on your platform and speak negatively about Kayla Got the 411 and think they're going to put my business out there or anything, like, I'm sending legal papers to you. Like, that's how we handle it. We not getting on social media. We not doing no arguing battles. You're going to have somebody serve you with papers where you can't speak on my name no more. You know,
exactly. That's you may respect on my name, but this lawyer and this notarized letter is gonna put some respect on it. That's it. But that's the thing people don't realize. And I had to learn that with people, when you're actually doing stuff professionally and business minded, it's funny when other people, that's why they say, like, you got to watch your circle. And if you have conversations, what does that mean by have conversations with winners? Because if not, they'll think you're bragging. I will say that meme is true, because it's like, if me and you have a conversation about branding, I get where you're coming from and you get where I'm coming from.
Right.
You may have that same conversation with somebody else who's not branding, who's not, you know, getting notable guests per se, or who, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, oh, well, you know, they are talking about the negative.
Who does she think she is getting illegal? No, because when you're building a brand, you got to think about long term. Like even to the point now, like I tell people, like I'm a woman, and I always tell women like, know your worth. Like don't let nobody play you, mistreat you. So what I look like as a woman, laying up with a man who mistreat me, right? Ain't doing nothing for me, but I'm telling y'all to go find a guy like that. Like I'm all about my brand. I always say anybody that I end up with, he's going to be a reputation of me. And when you say things like, people be like,
but it is true though. Come on, we've seen how many women in the industry get with the wrong dude. Look at Queen marriage. I'm just saying, she ended up getting a divorce. She had to pay him. Aisha Tyler, another situation. They got divorced. She had to pay him. I'm just saying, the wrong partner, if you do have a particular dream, and that goes for men too. I mean, come on, we see all the time men getting with a gold digger or whatever.
Yeah.
But same thing for women, especially for women, because we already being the boss. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a partner. If not, it could really go south because a person really can weigh you down. You know, and you're right.
Bring your whole brand down.
Right, and you're right. If you're having a platform telling women, hey, go love yourself and value your work, but you with Joe Blow, they looking like, well, girl, why are you telling you know, like you're not saying that, you know, you're just saying, you're just talking, you're just saying whatever, you're not really living it, you know. So it does put you in a different position because like you said, when you're branding and you're the product, it is a little different. And I think people just misinterpret that. Like it's not a personal thing. It's just that it's business. Number one, you're doing something totally different. And I just, like I said, I'm just at the point, and it does go a lot with my age. I'm just not gonna really go out my way to explain it to people because it's like you can have your opinion. It is what it is, you know.
Girl, I can't wait till I get like, you know what, I don't even feel like explaining to you. You just feel like
it's not worth it. Right. It's not worth it. I had a business situation that fell through, and the old me would have sat there and explained to them why I parted ways. So I was just like, I'm gonna just keep it moving. I'm just like, it's just, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's not necessary for me to break down, well, this is what you did Thursday, and this is what you did last Friday. With I was like, yeah, I'm just keep it moving. Keep it loose, keep it light and keep it loose. Because what's the point? Like, it's just draining. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I gotta, self-care is also not holding on to stuff and stressing yourself out. And I feel like too, when people bring that negative energy, like they're literally trying to bring you down, you know. And
I'm working on that too. I literally went on a block free this week, and I was like, nope.
The response, because it causes more stress. It drains you even more. So that's why I just kind of fall back, because not everything's worth a response, like for sure.
And even what you're talking about that, you know, we have two brands and we're building our brand, but it took a lot of work to go through this brand, go through this journey of building a brand. So where are some things and struggles that you have went through throughout your journey to get to where you are now, where, you know, your crown was slipping, but you was able to put it back together today and be on the show with me?
Well, with building this brand, it's just been like a journey because, you know, like I try to tell people, not everyone's going to receive you, you know, and I really had to take every lesson that I've learned. I use the phrase a lot that I count everything all joy. So like, even if a business relationship doesn't work, or let's say I get burned by somebody, I don't take it in a negative way. I count it all joy because I'm like, okay, this is a lesson that I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? This was just a part of my elevation. So I definitely go through highs and lows. I definitely have some challenges. You know, I'm the type of person where people really do drain me, asking me, how do I do this? How do you do this? How do you do that? And it's not genuine. Like they really aren't trying to support what I'm doing. That's one thing I had to go through, just learning discernment, learning having boundaries. Another thing I've gone through is just meeting people sometimes that just may not have the same professional outlook that I had. You know, before I started my brand, I worked for a major company. I worked in corporate for X amount of years. And I just was talking to someone earlier today. There's some things when you work in corporate, it just doesn't leave you. So
girl, I work there now.
Right. So it's part of my business mindset. You know, I do things on time. I'm used to approaching people in a particular way. I have professional packages on how I approach people. And it's worked for me in a good way. But there's other people who they don't comprehend it, but those are people who don't have that same professional mindset. So that's another one of the things I have to go through. But like I said, I really try to find a lesson in everything. Because if you don't, you're going to be repeating a lot of,
the same stuff.
Right.
That's why I tell people one relationship where he cheated on me so bad, that was the last time it happened. So it's like I learned from my mistakes. I don't like even my child. I'm a single mother, and I told myself I'm not having no more kids. So I got get married, and if I don't get married, I have no more kids. My daughter about to be 9. It's like all it takes is me to make one, decision where I'm like, okay, I didn't do that necessarily right. I'm not doing that again. I'm not about to. You just have to learn from your mistakes. I love the fact that you said that, because some people, they don't get it. They don't get it the first lesson, the second time, the third time. And it's like, once you get the 4th and 5th time, it's kind of hard for somebody to feel sorry for you.
Right. And I've been there. Like I said, I was in a bad, toxic relationship for the longest. I had to go back and forth with this person. And when I look back on it now, I'm like, damn, I can't believe I wasted all that time. But that's why I was like, let me use that for my platform. That's why I don't judge people. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like to be transparent with Geaux Queen, form of the blog and the podcast. So I was like, I can't just have a shirt. I got to tell people.
Right.
And the reason I share, like, I definitely did some stuff for a guy that anybody would look at me like, girl, you just straight stupid. A lot of people is not going to admit that. But I have to be honest with it. Because if not, I can't give to nobody else to say, well, look, sis, this is just some things will catch this early. It'll save you a lot of heartache and a lot of time that you can't get back. That's one thing in my life when I got towards my late 30s, from being with somebody that I met when I was 20, 30, and it was just nothing but drama. Had 3 kids out of the situation. And when I finally was done, okay, and in domestic violence, if you go to any counselor, they're going to tell you that can take a woman 7 times to leave. Can you imagine that? But it takes about 7 times to leave for good. Okay, so when I got in like my late 30s, and when this whole situation was over, when I look back on all that time I lost, it's a feeling that I don't wish on anybody. When you look back, like I was just 23, now I'm damn near 40. And I gave up all this time on a bad situation. All right. And like I said, I try not to fully put stuff on that person. And that was a lot of growth on my end, because a lot of things I didn't know any better. I didn't know that relationships aren't supposed to be like this. Like that's why I talk about self-love 100%. I talk about the beauty of going to therapy. Black people, we're taught to just pray it away. And that's it. And I'm not knocking prayer. If you're going through some issues, it benefits to sit and talk to a professional. You know what I'm saying? Like things magically go away. And a lot of us, unfortunately, have bad childhoods. And I'm not saying a lot of us, our childhoods were completely terrible. But a lot of us have gone through some issues as kids that have molded us into, adults, where we've done a few things that are detrimental to healthy living. So, I always talk to people about that too. Like, seeing a therapist will really enlighten you and also help you. Okay, here's how I don't have to repeat this. Here's how I can really, truly value myself. Because I know in my situation, there's certain situations I went through with my family, for example. I mentioned it to a therapist. They like, that's not healthy. But in my family, I was conditioned to think these things were like, just don't talk about it, let it go. That therapist will break it out to you like, no, you are right to express how you feel. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's just a lot. Okay. So like, I just try to be honest and transparent with people. Because if not, people don't get it. And that's the whole thing. Like I said, the whole fix other women's crowns. No, I can tell you how you can straighten your own crown, but I can't fix you, sis. I can't. I'm fixing myself. Okay, like that. You know what I'm saying? I can maybe give you some advice, but some people, they want you to just go in. They think the whole queen and fixing crown means taking on other people's problems and stress. No, that's not what that means.
No. And even like when you do go through something like that, I know when I speak, I always, sometimes randomly throughout my videos, I start speaking. It's like, I'm not trying to be in a way to hurt your feelings. I'm just a very blunt Southern woman. So when I'm saying, hey, girl, he has 4 baby mamas. Do not allow yourself to be his filth, okay? Because if all 4 of them are not receiving the help and things that they need, what make you think, I'm not being mean. I'm looking at it from a point of view like, okay, sis, we gotta look logically like this, And certain times, maybe the way my tone may work, and sometimes somebody else's tone may work, but you gotta hear, like, I done been cheated on. Like, I'm saying this lately too. I know a lot of people be so shocked when I say this. It's like, I don't give second chances. No, I spent 4 years. This man cheated on me so much. I'm surprised I didn't catch an STD. That's how much he would cheat on me. He'll cry, I'll take him back. He'll cry, I'll take him back. I cry, I'll take him back. Now I was like, no. I'm not giving people second chances, because the first time you already showed me who you are. We are adults. You knew exactly what you're doing.
That Tyler Perry thing where Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe that be any truer. I know recently there was a guy that I was like dealing with or whatever, and I stopped talking to him. And one of my friends, she knew I stopped talking to him, but like maybe a month or two later, she said, "What? Have you heard back from him again? Did y'all reconnect?" I said, "No." I said, "I don't give people second chances to do the same thing over and over again." I said, "Well, you know what I told her? I said, I no longer give people new ways to disappoint me." Like, if I just told you I stopped talking to him, I'm done. I'm just like, no, girl, he on block. It's like the phone.
They call me to, I keep people. Now I don't. Let me tell you something. I'm one of those people where, like, I'm very passionate and I love, and you're just not about to treat me how you treat everybody else. Cause I done already been mistreated, but now I'm at a place in my life. I'm not the 21-year-old Kayla now. And then I got a whole daughter watching me. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna have everything in my house mistreating me so my daughter can see. No, so I I just let people go, and people feelings get hurt, but I'm not gonna stick around and see what's gonna happen. No.
Because life is too short. I mean, look at what's going on. Life is too short. I just found out a relative passed right before I jumped on this Zoom. When life is short, this is like, it's just not worth it. And like I said, when you get older, you start looking back on stuff like, damn, that really was not worth my energy, to get upset about this or to even address it, so life is just too short. And it's just, and another thing too with Black women, when you're single, I feel like people really like trip over that. Like, they try to make it seem like there's something wrong with being single, but there's nothing wrong being at peace. And you can be proud to be single and say, hey, well, if the right one comes along, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's also nothing wrong in being single and working on yourself or building, your brand, building, getting your money up. Like, there's joy in being single, especially like a lot of us women, we are single mothers. There's nothing wrong with focusing on your children and saying, hey, I just can't have just anybody in my life, because I have children, I have a child. Like, it's going to take away if it's not a positive thing. There's nothing wrong with being selective. I look at it like people who are single, they're just being selective, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You know your worth, you're going to be very, I'm telling you, it's like, it's so crazy. And I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. Like, when you look back at like the old you, it's some people that could have had a chance, but the person you are today, like they couldn't even get your number today. And that's how and it's like, I've done all this work to myself. You just not about to just claim me without being quality and being able to say, okay, I earned her. Like, she is somebody that can be proud of me. No, just because you want me, that don't mean that you're going to get me. And I think they only put this type of burden on Black women who are working hard, trying to, they like to call you, girl, I can't even tell you how many men, right? They'd be so shocked. Kayla, I can't believe you're single. What you? No, you know what's wrong with you? Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Right.
I have options.
A lot too. I've gotten that a lot too. I cannot believe you're single, and it's like, it is what it is. It's like, it's life, like, I'm being selective straight up. Like, I'm single because it's like you said, there's so many people I dealt with in the past. Same thing. They could never even get my phone number now. They try Like it would never happen. Part of growth, you waiting on the best, and when I mean best, I don't mean perfect. No one's perfect, but the best for you.
For
That's
you.
perfect for her situation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm holding out on that, and it is what it is. And in the meantime, I rather stack my coins and work on me because the person don't come. So I'm just gonna not work on myself in the meantime. You know what I'm saying? So people trip me with that. Oh, I cannot believe you're single. Like, being single is not first. It's nothing negative.
And then just note that when you see a beautiful Black woman that's single, she has options. She has options, okay? She's just not about to just pick anybody. She knows her worth, and she's going to pick the right man that comes into her life who she feels is worthy of having her. So please note that. So as we get towards the end of the show, I want you to tell me a time where there's a woman that you want to shout her out that came to you and kind of fix your crown when it was slipping and saw something and saw you was down and gave you some great advice or helped you throughout life.
There is a woman that I met, and I network a lot on it, and she has a platform about racism. Her page is CEO Racism, something like that. I can't say the name of it completely, but when I talk to her, she really just feeds into what I'm going through. And I really appreciate her energy. And she's another person who, like I said, I'm a DM away, but sometimes people, if they really are sincerely, 100% sincerely for you. And when I first started talking, the stuff that she was referring to, oh, well, your show, you blah, 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 like she really is a sincere follower, but she truly roots for me, and everybody needs a sincere cheerleader sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like I've told someone before, the doctor needs healing. You know what I'm saying? They got to go to a doctor too. A stylist needs help too, so just, getting that positivity fed into me, and just sometimes just having somebody who is sincere be like, yeah, I see you. I see what you're, it means a lot because it is, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of work doing this. It's no joke. Okay. It takes a lot of time when you really building something that you believe in and you're packaging it nicely. You're getting good quality guests. You're doing all promos. When you showed me the promo that they not ready for the promo you did for our show, I was like, damn, I love that.
Girl, I was impressed with myself. Yeah,
it was beautiful. But that takes time. Every single thing you do to package something nicely takes time, and it can be draining. So it does feel good when you have that person that's like, I see you. All right. When I get inboxes from people, oh, I just wanted to tell you I listened to that episode. I really needed to hear that. That means the world to me.
That means the world, because sometimes you be stressed out or something ain't coming right, or guests don't piss you off because the kitchen missed and they want to change it. And you just like, sometimes it's like, I know I'm really big on like spirituality, and girl, whenever sometimes I feel like, let's not even talk about like what we go with our brands, personal life stuff. When you go through that stuff, add on top of your brand stuff, like you could really be having, I know, man, I cry at least one time a week. I get a good crowd. And sometimes I feel like the right person to come along at the right time and send you some positivity, just like, it's like they really just saved you from like melting, breaking.
Right. It just, you need that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying live for accolades, but I don't consider that an accolade. That's, just having that sincere, hey, what you're doing, I see you. What you're doing, I receive your message. I really understand what you're doing. That does make a person feel good, because you're right. It takes a lot of work and it's stressful. And people, that's another reason why I don't really pay attention to negativity, because I'm like, y'all don't even know the stuff that goes on to me to put this together. Like, this isn't something that just happens like that. It's a lot of going after guests, getting stuff scheduled, presenting a package. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Even making a promo takes time. Brand, a social media page takes time. Having that beat going when you the makeup artist, you the stylist, you the light. You the producer, you the audio person. I mean, it's
Mhm.
time. You know, it's a lot.
I'm the female Tyler Perry. I love Tyler Perry. You know, I've had, she got her name and face on everything. You know why? Because a mogul like Tyler Perry said he started putting his name on everything so people could recognize his work. He started putting face and everything on it because he said when he started doing plays, those promoters would be like, who is this? Like, what type of play is this? Like, it had nothing that's made it stood out. So he started putting Tyler Perry Presents, and that is my mogul. That is my mogul, and I'm gonna meet him one day, and I'm gonna interview him and give him a big old hug because that is the reason why. So when you see people doing stuff, it's not they arrogant. They about their business and they study other people who are about their business. Like, in order to be great, you have to study to break. Okay, so.
And you have to brand. That's the thing that people understand, branding yourself. Because I had to get out of my own way and stop worrying about what other people think. That's part of the journey. Just like Tyler Perry. When I first got down with, it's funny that you mentioned that. When I first found out who Tyler Perry was, and mind you, he's from New Orleans, I was like, wow, this man is doing everything. And I admired that. And I looked at people like Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Issa Rae. I talk about Issa Rae all the time. That's my blueprint. But what's the first thing we think of? We know those people by name. Tyler, Oprah, Issa. So I was like, I gotta start branding my name, putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, some people may take it as arrogant. If you take it that way, that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? Because my dream is not worth your opinion. You know. So that it comes with the territory. I know Tyler, come on, I'm sure Tyler Perry, a lot of people that don't like him. Is he worrying about it with all that money he got? Oprah too. People dislike her, you know, and Issa's so perfect to me. I'm not just gonna believe that anyone dislikes Issa Rae because I love her. I'm just saying, you know, come on.
Honestly, that's what I'm learning too. And I want to shout out this what's her name? I'm gonna put her the person that you spoke about. Send me a screenshot of their page.
I will.
She's a tarot reader and stuff like that, and it's so crazy because I swear, like a few days, like last week, she put up like a reading about jealousy and stuff like that, and she was like, "Sis, they see you, they see what you're doing. It's jealousy. Don't let it get it to you and stuff like that." And I had a situation where like I snapped Monday, and a few people may have seen it, but I took it down. I took it down because I was just so tired. I was like, why is this man coming? What is the problem? Like, why you keep coming? Like, why you keep? It's now I feel like you provoking me. You taunting me just to get clicks and views, and I got real upset. And then she DM'd me, and she was like, hold on, let me go to it because it really came at the right time. I want to read this because I swear I was literally this close. I was about to start calling out names, girl. She said, "I'm jealous of you, boo. You keep doing what you're doing. No weapon formed against you will ever prosper." That's on Jack and Jill went up the hill. And she gave me some other, you know, she just came right on time because that's what it seemed like. It just seemed like there's no, what is the problem? Why do y'all keep trying to just mention me in small ways on y'all little raggedy ass show? Like, let it go. We are not cool. There's no beef. There's no disrespect. Let it go. Let it go. I think that's the right time for me.
But when that stuff happens, that's when you know you doing something right, actually. And I know it may sound weird to some people, but if you didn't have anything of value, they wouldn't be watching. It wouldn't bother, people unless that was worth something. So I really, and like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I have moments where like I know somebody's trying to shade me with some little passive aggressive dumbass post, but I'm like, whatever, because I'm doing something that you wish you were doing. And I just leave that I've been blessed over the past 2 years. I was blessed earlier today, okay, with the connections I'm making. And I look at it like, you don't have to like me because I'm working so hard and the right people see it. And that's all that really matters, you know.
Oh, that is some real stuff. I know I've had people slide in my DM that shocked me. Like, shocked. Hey, yo, you do your show yourself. Like, you do all that. Like, that's dope. And it makes me like, and it's like, you know, the right people, they see you. You know, the right people see you and they see you. Everybody's watching. So keep working.
Exactly. See, and that's another thing to understand. That's why I'm very serious about the branding, the aesthetic alone of my social media, because I'm branding. And I have had people reach out to me. I've had people email me and present guests for my show. And I'm like, so I try and ask them in a professional way, because I'm sitting there like reading, like, is this a legit email? And then when I realized it was legit, I try and ask them in a professional way. Well, yeah, you know, how did you find me? And they're like, oh, we just searched and found you. You don't know who's watching you. A lot of people too are watching. They're not going to take time to follow the page. These are big. They don't have time to follow you, but they look through your content and they see something good. That's why, like I said, it would take a lot for me to really waste my energy on people that's not at that level. That's cool. And you're not going to ever be at that level because you're wasting a lot of precious time and energy worrying about this person that's not thinking about you. That's real ugly. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I've been through too much to worry about minor stuff. And it's like, I'm a loyal person too. So I'm like, hey, you counting yourself out because you too busy being jealous of what I'm working on. Instead of,
what's your zodiac sign?
Girl, I'm an Aries in all caps.
Girl, yeah, you a fire sign. I love y'all fire signs. Girl, I'm a Libra. You know, Aries and Libras attract.
I always tell people, like, I'm a true Aries. Like, I just feel like Aries, we just go-getters, you know, and we just take the ball and we just run with it. And I really embrace my sign too, you know.
That's and y'all the leaders of the pack. I talked about that on the podcast. Y'all the leaders of the pack. Aries is first up because you guys are definitely leaders. Aries do what they do. You ain't gonna never know Aries. As an Aries, it was like either love us or leave us, but we gonna do what we want to do. Basically, like that's just the sign. That's the traits. You know, like I said, I just embrace a lot of stuff. But a lot of ways I've attacked things and how I do things has benefited me. You know, the old me before I really started to learn myself would have never been even sitting here talking to you, because I would have never thought I would have built a brand. You know, when I look at, I'm like, wow, I really built a brand. It's just sometimes I have to just really, when I'm sitting there having a day when I got a bunch of clients I'm talking to, or I'm sitting there trying to email somebody, and I'm like, I have to sit back sometimes, wow, like I really did something that I never thought would have happened a few years back. I just didn't think I would ever get to this. And this is just the beginning. I mean, like I told somebody earlier today, I feel like I'm still in the infancy stage. I always call myself a baby at this. Me too. Be like, oh, wow. I'm like, girl, I'm just getting started. What you talking about?
Because that's and the reason you could probably say you're just getting started because you have big dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like I told somebody, I'm always in a state of ing. I'm always going to be in a state of learning, building, growing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always tell people I'm in the infancy stage. This is just the beginning.
My dream's so big. People be looking. I'm telling people, like, I'm going to have a national talk show one day. I don't care about what y'all. I already see my set design. I already know my vision. I already know who I want my male co-host to be. And this is why you got to be careful too how you treat people, because them same people that you like, oh, they this and that, you want to act funny towards those people. When them people make it, guess what? They're going to remember that you were the one that was throwing those passive aggressive, shady posts, funny and stuff like that. And the small group of people that I have built a relationship with, like in the community, like, I'm going to make sure I mention y'all in the right rooms. Like, don't worry. Like, don't even worry.
And see, that's what people don't realize too. That same person, like you said, you shading, they make a connection that you're not. So what is the point in being ugly like that? You know, I don't think people really look at the full picture sometimes. You know, like I said, I've made some good connections. I made an amazing connection early this week, which, like you said, you're going to remember that person to speak that person's name. Like, we're not going to talk about the person who tried to shade us.
Right. They're going to be like, you know, such and such? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, sorry. You know, and it's not to be ugly. Really not to be ugly.
You know, I've had females where girl I slid in their DM and like, hey, you know, that's why I'm not even gonna be doing like collab shows with like people that I don't know. Because I was women DMs and I thought we was like black girl managers, but you like left me on red. Like you could have said, hey girl, I'm busy today, you know, yeah, they ain't really, you just left me on red and stuff like that. Like that ain't, that's not what we do to each other. You know what I'm saying? Even if it wasn't your fit, just say, oh, I'm busy that day.
And see, with me, I genuinely like meeting people. That's like one time me and you, like when you were trying to do the group thing, and I was like, the time you scheduled, I could not be a part of it, and I felt bad. What did I do? I made a point to follow up with you. It's just about how you treat people.
People don't understand this. It's like leaving people on red. Like,
just like one time before, we were supposed to do something. You live in the South too, but I live in Louisiana, which is the damn home of storms. And I was like, damn, I can't record with y'all because I'm like, it's about to get bad in the next so and so minutes. But it's a genuine thing. When we finally had that date together, I was like, of course I'll record with you.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's all in time. And then a lot of people too is like, when I say we're gonna do something, like I mean it. Like, girl, all that capping in that line, like, what is you doing?
Right.
Like, girl, we gonna do something. Like, you know, you don't want to do something for me. Don't say we gonna do something because it's not hurting me. It's actually benefiting you.
See, and you just hit the nail on the head. And I'm the same way. I say I want to rock with you. I mean it. Not a time jacked up. It may be a month, 2, 3, 4, but I know we're going to do something. You know, and there's several people who I've collaborated with. We have been talked about it. It was like way last year we were supposed to collaborate, but stuff happens. But I never forgot that I was going to, you know, and that's like I said, that's why I count every connection on joy. I'm really sincere about work with, but it's like sometimes people talk themselves out of their own blessing too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, you feeling some type of way over nonsense. Okay, that's your choice because I'm still moving forward. You know, like I said, I think people don't understand, like you and I have like, this is our business, you know what I'm saying? So we're meeting other people industry wise. We're talking to other people. We're making different connections because that's a part, like you said, you want your talk show. I tell people the same thing. I want my media company. I want my talk show too. When I started doing the Qchat, especially when I started to film it, because at first it was audio. When I got to video on the Qchat, I said, I'm going to fashion this like a TV show. You got to speak stuff. So I was like, it's not just going to be you tuning in and you just going to see the little Zoom thing with the little not edited. No, you know, that's just, I don't do things like that because I have a bigger picture. That's why when you go to my website and you read my bio, the first sentence says, I dream big. And I do, you know, and I'm not going to start.
It's like it's like your baby. So you put someone, even like I remember like just coming out, I was like, I'm like YouTube. And I remember I came up with that theme song and it's like, I said in my room, I was like, Kayla Got one. And now like, you know, I would build connections with like a guest who, this girl, she's singing my intro now just because I built a great relationship with her. It's like relationships matter. And know that before we end the show, please know that building a relationship doesn't mean that a person trying to be your friend. Like I'm just trying to build like a core with you. So, you know, if I see you at places or events, we can speak. I'm not trying to like come over to your house, sis, and spend the night. And I think that's what a lot of people like.
They get it mixed up.
I just asked you that you want to be on the show. I'm not trying to, you know, it's like first of all, when you busy, ain't nobody worrying about making no friends. When you busy, you build a brand, the natural organic friendships will come together, but you're not seeking out friendship. Like nobody has time to seek out friendship. The organic friendship that you do have, they will come naturally throughout your life path. And that's what I truly believe. So nobody's trying to be like, you know, boo buddies. We're just trying to connect and just do something great because I see something great in you. That's why I wanted to collab. But if your ego got in the way, you know.
Right. And you know, throw around that term friend very loosely. So that's why people, they think, like you said, they think you're trying to be that friend. Like you don't even know what my definition of friend is. Because if somebody I just acquainted myself with be not friends, and that's not a negative thing, but it's hard to hold that title in my life, to be my friend. Like, that's why I really believe in giving people the correct titles. This person's my associate, that person my actual friend, that person is just, a business connect, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, but people, they just want to I used a scenario with somebody earlier today. People want to ride in a car with you, but they don't want to put in on the gas.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Like, you want to be connected with so-and-so, but you really don't want to put in, anything for a true definition of a friendship or whatever, and that's why I have to go back to the whole fixing each other's crown. It depends on your definition of that. I can't feed into you all my tools and all my services on how to get this, and we're not really truly connected online, because I did all this work. You asking me, I'm gonna tell you everything I did. Now you off to the races without putting in the same work or time, and then you really truly aren't trying to even connect with me. You off on your merry way, not even acknowledging me on my show or whatever brand is. So it's like, you just gotta have your boundaries and use your discernment more than anything, I'm
a big believer in that. I feel like, look, I taught myself how to edit, how to do all this graphic design. I've been doing this in high school. If I taught myself, the tools are out there for you. Like, the tools are out there. We live in a time now where you can easily get on YouTube. They have business books. They have like people that'll show you how to do graphic design and apps. Like, they have people that can show you those type of tools. But instead of actually going out there and doing the research and learning, you want somebody to just tell you and do it for you. That's not gonna happen. No. Do the work. Do the work, so that when you do see, you can say, I got me here. The such and such and here. I pride myself on that.
Me too. And that's why, like, people kind of, they take it the wrong way, but it's like, I really changed about it recently, because just lessons I learned. I'm like, okay, I got to be more mindful of when someone asks me, well, hey, can you tell me how you did this? Because I didn't have anybody to ask. I figured out this and like, you're not being sincere. So I'm telling you, I've been burned too many times. People, oh, well, can you tell me how you did this? I tell them, then I never hear from them again. They don't even give me a like on any other post. Okay, well, just climb yourself because you lost another connection, because I'll never give you any info again. It's just like, what is the point in doing that? Like, I do take offense and stuff like that. I'm not going to lie, because I put in a lot of time on what I learned. I didn't ask somebody. I researched and figured it out. You too lazy to do it, so you're asking me. I genuinely tell you, then I don't hear from you again. Like, that's cold. Like, that's not.
That really is cold blooded. I had people do me. I got to see people show morphing into mine. I'm like, well, look at you trying to be Cat 4112. But I think it's somebody else. Like, they can take the recipe, but they're not the cook. It's not gonna come out the same. So.
Exactly. So it's like, you can do a generic version of what I'm doing, and that's cool. But it's like, you still don't know the full blueprint, Yes.
Yeah, I love you. It's so nice having a conversation with somebody that gets me.
Right.
You can't talk like this to everybody. Everybody be like that. Who she think she is?
I watch is gonna say that too, but it is what it is.
They're gonna be watching. They're gonna be watching. And I'm so happy to do something together. And anytime I come up with an idea, the way my brain works, people, is like randomly. I can be eating, taking a shower, in the car, but I have an idea. And that's when I was like, oh, I have an idea. Like, you're the perfect person for this. So, other people out there who I'll say we're going to work together, I actually mean, I just have to find the right, it has to come to me. I can't sit down and like brainstorm. My brain, it has to just come to me in my sleep. That's why I keep a little, I keep these, like, one in my bathroom, one by my bed. So when I have something, I can just write it down so I don't forget that. I really enjoy this. As women,
book and ink pen every night. I sleep either it's in my bed or it's right next to it. I write down everything. You have to.
You have
a lot of people who have made it, they always suggest that you gotta write everything down.
Really?
One woman I talked to, Mignon Francois, she's a woman who took $5 and she made a $10 million cupcake company. She said it in my interview. She's like, your brain is wired to forget things. I think she said after like 10 seconds. So she's like, yeah, you need to write it down. She's like, I write down everything. And when she said that, I was like, wow, because I write down everything. I if I don't have my pen and paper with me, I'll text it to myself because I don't want to forget that.
Even voice notes, like, oh my God, my voice notes, like, I even had an idea from my homie. He's a singer, and I was like, yo, you need to do like a Marvin's Room, like, because you know how he takes people's songs and like he remixes it. I was like, you need to do Marvin's Room by Drake, but call it Brandon's Room. Like, girl, I hope that it was like 2:00. I was like, I can't not text this man this late in the night because he might think something. But as soon as the song comes, I was like, you gotta do it. It was just an idea that I thought would be perfect for him because he does. And I think that there are a few genuine people that do look out for you. And when you look out for me, I'm gonna always look out for you.
Don't forget that it's genuine. You really don't forget them. You know, same thing. I've definitely helped some people. Some have been genuine. We stay connected. Some haven't. But like I said, I count everything on joy. It is what it is.
And if a person busy, if you need me for something, I always show up. But understand too, before we close out, people are busy. Okay.
Right.
People work, people go through stuff. So just because a person don't DM you every Monday and tell you good morning, that doesn't mean that they're not thinking about you or see what you're doing. You know, you'll know if somebody's there for you when you need them for something and they're there for you. You know, they clearly to be there for you. So think of it like that.
Just want to say thank you so much for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course, hit that subscription button. I am grateful for every view, whether you like me or you don't. And don't forget, I got a podcast too. There are exclusive episodes on that podcast, so don't forget to go check that out as well. They're on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Baby, I'm everywhere, okay? And follow me on social media. I'm Kayla Got the 411 on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr. Baby, like I said, I'm everywhere. Thank you again for watching the show, and I'll see you on the next episode of Kayla Got the 411.